Have you ever noticed something strange when talking to a narcissist? You explain something clearly. You speak calmly. You even repeat yourself. And somehow, they still misunderstand what you said. Or at least it feels that way. But here's the important part. Most of the time, it's not really misunderstanding. It's interpretation. A narcissist often listens through one filter: control and ego. So instead of hearing your actual words, they hear what your words mean to them. For example, you say something simple like, "I need some space today." To most people, that just means you need time to yourself. But a narcissist might hear, "You're rejecting me. You're disrespecting me. You're challenging my authority." The message gets twisted, not because your words were confusing, but because their perspective is centered around themselves. Another thing that happens is defensive listening. They're not listening to understand. They're listening to react. They're already preparing a response while you're still speaking. So small comments turn into big arguments. You might say, "I didn't like how that conversation went." And suddenly they respond with, "So now everything is my fault." The conversation jumps from a small issue to a full emotional battle. This is why talking to a narcissist can feel exhausting. You're speaking one language, calm, direct communication. They're hearing another, threat, criticism, loss of control. And when that happens repeatedly, people start questioning themselves. Did I say something wrong? Was I too harsh? Maybe I should explain it differently. But the truth is, sometimes the problem isn't your explanation. It's the way the message is being filtered. That's why keeping your communication simple and steady matters. Short sentences, clear points, no long emotional debates. Because when someone constantly twists your words, the goal isn't to convince them of everything. The goal is to stay clear about what you actually mean. You can say things like, "I'm explaining my perspective. That's not what I meant. I'm not arguing about this." And then leave it there. Not every misunderstanding needs to become a long discussion. Sometimes clarity is simply repeating your point once and refusing to get pulled into confusion. Because when someone constantly reinterprets your words, the strongest thing you can do is stay calm, stay clear, and not let your message get lost in their reaction.